This is Beyond the Cot, a weekly podcast connecting the packs of F3 Knoxville and beyond through invigorating male community leadership, through fitness, fellowship, and faith.
Avengers!
Assemble.
38 school zone.
School zone. 34 strip.
40 kickflip. 56 high heels.
High heels, respect.
37 trunk.
The F3 Knoxville Beyond the Cot podcast starts right now.
And we're live. Welcome back to the Beyond the Cot podcast, the F3 Knoxville podcast. This is Steam, the comms queue for F3 Knoxville. I am joined today once again by the man, the myth, the legend himself, our first FQ. You all know and love him and love the workouts he plans for us, Onstar.
Hey, my man. I'm not sure if everyone loves the workouts I plan. I've heard a lot of complaints. I've complained about them. I've regretted plenty of them. So I think that's fake news, but thank you anyway.
Well, we're going to get to something later in the show about the metric challenges we've been doing this past year, so the first part of the year, and they've been great. So I'm not going to spoil it yet, but OnStar, you've been an instrumental part in putting this together, and there have been guys that this is alleged, right? So allegedly, there have been guys in the middle of the workouts that you have planned that have rethought, their commitment to F3.
All right,
because the workout was so hard.
I'm doing something right then. Let's go.
But they came back, and it was good.
Yep.
They came back the next week. It was great. So anyway, but hey, welcome back to the show. This is the Monday episode, and on our Monday episodes, what we're going to do is run down the weekly F3 Knoxville newsletter, where we are going to share some of the big line items, the big events, big takeaways that we receive from our Nantan kickflip every week, and it is packed this week. It is packed. We have a lot of awesome events coming up, and we're going to go through all of those, some cool updates, some leadership changes, some fun challenges as we get into the rest of the summer and the rest of the year. So we're going to kick off. So once again, welcome to Beyond the Cot podcast, and we'll dive in. So order number one. We have a summer convergence coming up this Saturday, July 8th, actually. So quick little, 101 on a convergence. And OnStar, feel free to chime in too, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Convergence basically is an opportunity for the region, so all of the AOs in the region, to come together to converge, hence the name, and do a beatdown workout together. And typically there is some type of second F or third F tied into it. So this Saturday, July 8th, we are going to have our summer convergence at the Shamrock AO here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And so we want to encourage every man to attend because this is something outside of a normal 45-minute or normal hour workout that you would probably attend a couple times a week in your region or here in Knoxville. And so it's an opportunity for all of us to get together, to work out together, to have some great second F. And we're actually going to hear from a speaker, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But OnStar, what's your take on convergences? Are they worth it?
They're awesome, man. They're absolutely awesome because it's so much energy seeing everyone together. The name-oramas are usually epic because you're talking about 70, 80 guys shouting someone's F3 name back to them. It's super cool. It's a great opportunity to talk to more people, to work out with more people, to get to hang out with more people. Yeah, our workouts are always you versus you, but it's always good to look at your brothers, look at how you're doing, how they're doing, getting together with everyone. And again, it's a chance to grab some breakfast and listen to an awesome speaker. Our last convergence, we had the legend Captain Crunch, and he had an amazing word for us. And we're going to have another amazing speaker this time. So you should definitely not miss this. You should be there.
You should not. You should actually set your alarms now.
Yep.
To make sure you get up and do not press snooze or fart sack for the convergence. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So go ahead.
Another detail, if you're so inclined, there's also a pre-run and pre-ruck that's going to be happening there. So if you want to get there even earlier, get there at 6 a.m., which I'm considering very much so to do. You will be able to join a pre-run or pre-ruck. I'm opting for the pre-ruck. Steam, I'm sure that if you decide to go, you probably are going to go with the pre-ruck as well.
Absolutely. I hate running. Absolutely.
There you go. Another opportunity to work out, get a good beat down in early in the morning.
That's right. I mean, you're already getting up super early, right? You might as well get up 15 minutes earlier, push your body a little bit further. You're going to thank us, Sunday morning when you wake up feeling super sore, but also, super proud of yourself for doing something really hard the day before. Yep. So, man, it's great. It really is a great time because there are guys that obviously we see at our AOs, at our workouts that we work out with every week, but guys we probably don't see as much throughout the week because they work out in a different part of the city or something like that. So, man, would love to see as many guys there. The Shamrock AO is at Catholic High School on Cedar Bluff, so here in Knoxville. What we want to advise guys to do is get there by 6:45 a.m. unless, like OnStar mentioned, you are joining the pre-ruck or pre-run at 6 a.m. But if you're just coming for the workout, hey, that's cool too. We're just glad you're there. So arrive by 6:45 a.m. And we'll get parked and get situated, and we'll kick off right at 7 a.m. on the football field, actually, on the Catholic High School football field. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, it is. And what can you tell us about the speaker?
Yeah, so the speaker, so we'll wrap up the workout about 8 a.m. Stick around for breakfast and a strong word by a pastor, an author, and community leader named Rick Dunn. So Rick is the pastor at Fellowship Church, or one of the pastors at Fellowship Church, and many of you probably know him if you're from Knoxville, have heard him speak before or have seen him speak. He does a great podcast called Life Reframed. You should absolutely look that up with Lauren Morgan. But he's going to come speak to us on Saturday. The jury is still out if he is going to be part of the workout. I really hope he is. So, Rick, if you're listening to this, please join the workout. We'll see you at 7 a.m. on Saturday. But if not, he's going to deliver a great word for us. He speaks very intentionally. Any time that Rick speaks, he will be the first to tell you that it is an absolutely God-given gift for him to be able to speak. And so we're excited just to welcome him and hear what he has for us after the workout on Saturday the 8th. So it should be great. It's going to be a great time. You should not miss it. We're going to do an episode next week just covering everything, but do not wait for that to drop. Come out next Saturday, Shamrock, 7 a.m.
All right, that is awesome. Moving on, we have this week's excerpt from the Q source, correction. And I want to pull up here the three questions that Kickflip posed on the newsletter, talking about the topic of correction and zealously advocating for shared virtue. So, can virtue be instilled by example alone? Why would a man decline to tell another man the truth about his shortcomings? And can a man be a bully even if he is right?
Yeah, so we've been going through the Q source, for as long really as probably it's been around. It's always been a part of our weekly huddles, our weekly workouts, our weekly newsletters. It's really an opportunity for us to, like you said, OnStar, ask some deeper questions with how we look at our own lives, how we look at our own communities, and so I think you posed some great questions there too. These are probably questions, if I'm being honest, that are not I know the answer to that. Of course, duh, it's B, or yep, it's always C, right? No, these are probably questions that are more thought-provoking, more, like I probably need to think about that one for a little bit more. Like, can virtue be instilled by example alone? Like, that's probably not a black and white yes or no answer, right?
Yeah.
So there's a great write-up that Kickflip posted in the newsletter from the Q source. This is correction Q 2.6, and then it'll be in the show notes as well. So you can actually view the post yourself, and you can tell us what you think.
Yeah, that the third question, that can a man be a bully even if he's right, makes me think of a quote I really take to heart, which is praise in public, criticize privately.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Because being right and even correcting someone, it's something that needs to be done with love, with a good intention, with the intent to raise up, not bring someone down. So yeah, even being right, I think you can be a bully, and I don't think it's a way to correct someone, like by berating them or doing that in front of them. This is something I've always taken to heart, though. Praise in public, criticize in private. I think these are great questions to think about. This is a great write-up, and I encourage everyone to go ahead, read it, think about it. You can always share your thoughts in Mumble Chatter, or hey, if you're doing shield lock, or maybe at your next word when you queue, think about these and share your thoughts with the man around you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to get to hear perspectives from different guys and what hits them and what really makes them think or maybe stands out to them. So I think it's great. Absolutely. Well, moving down in the newsletter this week, we have T-claps, stands for triple claps. These are things that we want to celebrate as a region. And so every week, Kickflip asks some of our AOQs, the guys that are making sure the workouts happen and are stewarding their workout locations across Knoxville and beyond, hey, what are some things that we can celebrate this week? So we have some T-claps to shout out. We want to shout out these guys. So T-claps to Windex for getting his VQ at JUCO. If you don't know what a VQ is, it is a virgin Q. It is the first time that a man leads a workout at F3. So shout out to Windex. T-claps, great job for leading your first workout this past week. Also, T-claps to Twitch for getting his VQ at Shamrock, also leading your first workout. So awesome job, brother. Great job. Yeah. T-claps to Petunia. So this guy was a FNG, a friendly new guy at Asylum PM, one of our evening workouts, and he actually pre-rucked his first F3 workout. So he spent a couple miles, probably close to 2 miles, maybe a little bit more, under a ruck with some of our guys that pre-ruck before the workout, and then worked out for the first time with F3 on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So
this is becoming a standard at Asylum PM, because this is the second time this has happened. First FNG to do that was the legendary Z-Bone. Yes. And now we have Petunia. So
that's right. The Hall of Fame. I mean, it's like, you want to come do this thing called F3, this crazy boot camp workout? And also, by the way, why don't you go walk with a heavy backpack for a mile and a half or two before? And these guys did it. So shout out to you, Petunia. You rock. Hall of Fame, FNG wall right there. Yep. T-claps to Lebowski. So Lebowski is back in action. He's been out for a little bit, so we've missed you. But this week, he decided to turn it up to 11 and queued 3 times this past week. So he led 3 different F3 workouts this week. And that's what we call a comeback. So good to have you back, bro. Thanks for leading. Thanks for stepping up and taking the cue. And then finally, T-clap to Unibrow. He queued all of the Equalizer workouts last week. So number one, we need to fill up that queue calendar at the Equalizer. Number two, Unibrow, thanks for leading the 3 workouts at the Equalizer last week. That's awesome. And I don't know a lot of that backstory. Maybe he was just building upon one or the other. I don't know. But to queue all 3 workouts at an AO 1 week, that is pretty cool, man. So T-claps to you. And there are, without a doubt, other things that are happening within F3 Knoxville that deserve T-claps. So if you know guys or have a story, I was like, hey, man, this guy deserves to be shouted out, shoot us an email, f3knoxville@gmail.com, or go ahead and get in Slack. If you're part of F3 Knoxville, go ahead and send Kickflip a message. He would love to be able to put this in the newsletter. We'd love to be able to shout you out. So if there are other T-claps, are other stories that deserve praise, that are some really cool wins from this past week, send them to us. We'd love to shout them out with you.
Yep. Please do. It's always great to be able to raise up other men. And then Unibrow and Lebowski have really showed some leadership. I don't know if virtue can be shared only by example, but both of these guys have literally led by example and
literally
deserve the T claps.
That's right.
So let's go over some of the key dates of what's coming up. We already talked about the convergence again, July 8th, Shamrock, 7 a.m., 6 a.m. if you want to pre-ruck. We also got F3 in the Nude coming up on July 29 at the Cove in Concord Park in Farragut. We still don't have too much info to go out. Just
sounds as cool as you think it does. It is.
Yep. We're gonna have Mermaid has been talking about how to tease this out a little more. You're gonna hear a little more about it soon. But put it down in your calendar already. July 29th, 7 a.m., Concord Park. You're not gonna want to miss this. This is gonna be awesome.
That's right. You will be better for doing this, and it will build character without question.
Yes,
that's true.
And let's see what it is all about. We've got also the F3 Knoxville Dads Camp coming up, being led by Full House and Gibbler. It's going to be on August 11 through 13. And Steam, can you tell us a bit more about that? Because I'm not familiar with it yet. I've just hearing about this. This is the first year I've been in F3. So can you share a little more about that?
Yeah. So Dads Camp is a really cool and unique opportunity for F3 dads in Knoxville to take their 2.0s or their kids to this weekend camp. It's at the YMCA Camp Ocoee. And one of the cool things that happens with Dad's Camp is it provides a very unique opportunity to connect with your 2.0s, have some great quality time. Some of the things that you'll be doing is going to be things like rock climbing, things like BB guns, things like archery, swimming, paddling. It's a great weekend full of adventure, full of just really great quality time with your kids if you are an F3 dad. Some of the details are going up on Friday. You'll be home by noon on Sunday. The cost is only $115 a person, and that is essentially for you and then two 2.0s if you have two kids, for example, or just one kid. But it's a great time. If you are an F3 dad, bring your kid, have some great quality time with them and some other F3 dads and their kids, and form a really good sense of community and just bond together. So it's a great time. I hope to go someday. Onstar, I know you are a new dad, so go ahead and put this on the calendar for a couple of years from now, probably.
Pretty much.
But it's going to be great.
Yeah, I definitely plan on joining it as soon as my daughter's old enough for it, because right now she hasn't even turned 4 months yet. So I think she's a little young still, but when she's closer to an age where she can go, I'm excited to do this. I'm sure it's going to be great. So if you have a 2.0 that is in the age range to do that, to be shooting BB guns, climbing, and so on, and you want to get some special bonding time, this is a great opportunity.
That's right. That's right. And if you have other questions, these two guys can provide a lot more info. Reach out to Full House or Gibbler. They'd be happy to answer your questions. Shoot them a message on Slack. They have more info and provide more insight, but it's going to be a great event. If you are a dad out there, use this time to be as intentional with your 2.0 or 2.0s as much as possible. It really is a great bonding event.
All right. And also coming up, we have on a few events on July 4th. We have the Farragut Freedom Run.
That's right.
Where we will have teams doing both the 1 mile and 2 mile open races in the run. Some of us are planning to ruck it. If you sign up, wear a F3 shirt to represent. Go there. Let's try and have a big group. That's not the only thing we're going to be having on July 4th. I know that also Asylum AM is going to have their workout at 5:30 with something special afterwards. And Asylum PM is going to have a morning workout led by the legendary Lily Dipper with a beer cafeteria to follow. So bring your own beer. Legend goes that there might be more than beer offered there.
Right.
I'm not sure, but if you want to join it, come on, bring your own beer in or whatever other beverage you would like. 10 a.m. at Lakeshore Park. Or if you want to be in the gloom, 5:30 a.m. at Asylum AM, also at Lakeshore Park.
That's right. Man, we worked out with Lily Dipper this past week, and this dude is fired up for this mid-morning workout and board meeting / cafeteria / second F fellowship time after the workout. It is going to be awesome. And July 4th is just a great time. I mean, you know, you love America. I love America. We love America. You know, we're blessed to be able to do F3 in America. So all you American loving, patriotic, high impact men out there, don't sleep in, make a workout, make it count. And, you know, join us in Farragut for the Freedom Run. Wear an F3 shirt and it's going to be great. Or find a workout near you, workout. Don't just use that day as a day to sleep in. Go get better for 45 minutes or an hour, and then come have some good fellowship with Lily Dipper and the PM guys.
And hey, everything's in the morning, so you still have the rest of the day to rest, eat hot dogs and burgers, and go shoot fireworks with your family. Or at least that's what I'm planning to do for the rest of the day. So,
yeah, I mean, fireworks could very well happen at the Lily Dipper queue. I don't think it will.
I don't think so,
but it's probably a safety concern.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it past it happening. So
no, it's going to be great. But seriously, go support your local fireworks retailer. You know, they need your help more than ever. So yeah, go be patriotic and buy fireworks. There you go.
All right, sounds good.
There are a couple more things, or actually just one more thing to kind of mention with upcoming dates and some of these changes. Obviously, we're growing as a region, which is great. And so I was actually out at the truck stop AO this past Saturday, led the workout out there. It is our workout location or AO in West Knoxville, actually West Farragut. And so typically they've been meeting at something called the truck stop at Bob Leonard Park. This is actually changing. So effective immediately, the truck stop AO will move locations to McPhee Park. So in West Farragut. The schedule is going to stay the same. So 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Saturday mornings. And it's going to be great. So they're probably going to rename the AO since it is going to move parks. The whole reason they're doing this is it's going to be a great place to work out. It's a very large park. There's a lot of great stuff to do out there. Very easy to get to. It provides probably a little bit more bandwidth for us to do a hour workout for F3. I was out there this past Saturday. It is an absolutely awesome place to work out. So if you are in the West Knoxville / West Farragut area, make sure to check them out on Saturdays at 6 a.m. It's gonna be a great change for them, and hopefully draw a lot more of the guys that live out in West Farragut and to F3.
All right, awesome. So we're starting a new month right now, July, walking into it. So we have obviously new first F and third F challenges coming up.
Yes.
For the first F challenge, this was suggested to me by Kickflip, and I love the idea to spend this month working on flexibility and mobility. We all spend a lot of time sitting, or at least most of us do. Most of us have jobs that involve sitting in front of the computer for most of the day or sitting in an office. In any case, just sitting around a lot. That leads to back pain, to mobility issues, to stiffness in the legs. So the idea is to, let's combat that so we can keep working out in the gloom, being the men we need to be for our families, being active and healthy.
Hi.
So the idea is taking 10 minutes every day to work on mobility and flexibility. This could mean active stretching. This could mean physical therapy exercises, whatever you think you need. As we always say in F3, I don't know your history of injuries. I don't know your limitations. So whatever works for you. I will be suggesting in the Slack some exercises that I've done or that I'm doing. For example, right now, I've already put up one recommending retro walking, meaning literally walking backwards, which is something that helps you strengthen your knees and your lower back. I'll be posting other ideas throughout the month. But if you have done any type of stretch, any type of routine that you think could help other men, that helped you heal a wound or strengthen something and prevent injuries, hey, let me know. Feel free to post it in the First F channel. The idea is to get everybody together, working to reduce pain, reduce the risk of injuries, and increase our performance and get us out there in the gloom or fake gloom, giving our best.
I love this OnStar because you'll probably think this is funny. I will come home after workouts and be like, oh, I'm so sore. And then wake up the next morning, be like, oh, I'm so sore. And then my M will say, oh, well, did you stretch? I'm like, no, of course not. And so this is just a slap in the face in the best way possible, because I have 10 minutes out of my day. I could be doing this. Yep. And, 11 out of 10 times I am not doing this. So, then it's going to help with workouts, with, your mobility, your strength. And so I love this. I'm excited for this.
And man, guilty as charged, because I know I have a few limitations in terms of mobility. Either in F3 or going to the gym, I'll tell my M2, oh yeah, I'm having troubles with this type of squat or this or that. My range of motion is not as good as it should be. I should really work on that. And I always keep saying I should really work on that and never do it. So this is a good wake-up call to, hey, it's 10 minutes of your day that can make a good difference. Take those 10 minutes. It doesn't need to be 10 minutes in a row. Take 5 minutes that you get up to go get water, do some stretches, do an active warm-up or something, just to get that flexibility moving. And come on, let us work in extending our range of motion, preventing further injuries, and beating the sedentary life and the sedentary lifestyle we often have.
Exactly right. We want you to be part of F3 as long as possible.
Yep.
And you meaning everyone. So take 10 minutes out of your day, do some stretches, get mobile. Going to be great. Really pumped for that. And likewise, on the third F end, we do have a third FQ. His name is Ocho. He is awesome. He's super intentional, and he has created this third F Faith July challenge for us as well. So quick snapshot of this. He is going to challenge us, and it's July 2nd. So here we go. He is going to challenge us to have an intentionally spiritual conversation with another man at least once a week this month. So essentially, one time each week in July, have a conversation about spiritual truth, about your spiritual life, about spiritual struggle, or about a spiritual question you're struggling with. Any of these items would be a great launching point for this. So, for example, F3 is not a Christian organization. It's not a one religion organization, right? The third F, when people see and hear faith, it does not mean one religion. It means, hey, I realize as a man, I exist not just for my own benefit and myself. I exist for the benefit and service of others. And I think I was created for more than just myself. And so I have some form of faith out there, right? It doesn't have to look a certain way, sound a certain way, feel a certain way. And so that's what this is. Have an intentional spiritual conversation with a man close to you, close in proximity. Maybe it's someone you work with. Maybe it's someone in a small group. Maybe it's someone that you work out with every week. Maybe it's at a Shield Lock, like you mentioned, OnStar, which is more of an intentional group within F3 that we have. So just have an intentionally spiritual conversation about. Maybe it's something you're really excited about that you feel called to. Maybe it's something that you're challenged by and you're working through that. What are some other examples of how this might look or sound on Star to someone who's like, I don't know if I could do that. That seems kind of weird.
A good suggestion that Ocho made is, for example, joining a Bible study. That could be a good way to do that, or even just talking to someone in your church or any other group that you have that is related to your faith, and talking about the sermon or about any lesson that you learn. Talk about what you're reading, if you're going through the Bible, or if you're going through some other teaching, share that with someone and get the feedback. Listen to what other men have to say as well. That is a great opportunity to deepen your bond with other men and help other men move deeper into their faith, into their spiritual life, as well as yourself. So take that opportunity to grow together with another man.
That's right. And, it doesn't have to be this overly spiritual thing, right, as well. Like I have a tendency to overthink. So, what I don't want to happen, and if you're listening to this, please don't let this happen. Don't overanalyze this. You don't have to have 3 points to talk about for this conversation. It could be something that happened in your day that's like, I want to talk to someone about this. Let's just talk this through. I'm kind of struggling with this, or really challenged, or maybe really encouraged by this, like you said. So don't overanalyze it. Just have an intentional conversation with someone in your life every week in the month of July. So very cool. OnStar, we also reintroduced the first metric workouts in July. And so instead of me talking about the metric workouts, this would be like someone who plays pickup basketball at the YMCA on a Saturday ask if he could take Michael Jordan's place in the NBA in his heyday. So I'm not going to do that. So do you want to talk a little bit about the metric challenges, the U versus U workouts, and what we have coming up in July?
All right. Well, the idea of the U versus U workout, or the Accelerate Your King metric workouts, are basically the idea to give us a point of reference, give us a chance to measure. Are we actually getting faster, getting stronger, having more endurance? In other words, are we doing enough to ourselves when we show up to workout at F3 or outside of F3? Or do we need to improve? Do we need to realize, okay, I've just maintained, or okay, I've gotten worse than I was early in the year. So we did from January to June, 6 workouts, 1 each month. And now we're going to start repeating them to compare with our first performance. So we're going to do now the same workout that we did in January. And I have to preface this by saying I did not create this one. This was one that had people cursing the most. And this is entirely Kickflip's creation as far as I know. So any issues with this, take it up with our Arnett. I have nothing to do with this one. You can blame me for the other ones.
We look forward to your mail and emails and comments. Just
mumbo chatter. Yep. Go right ahead. But basically the idea is we're going to have a very CMU heavy workout. So 150 curls, 125 heavy squats, 100 overhead presses, 75 CMU swings, 50 thrusters, 25 blockies. If you don't know what a blocky is, it's a burpee with a CMU, meaning you can make burpees even worse than they already are.
Only 25. Hey, it's only 25.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But after every 25 reps, you have to do a 25-yard run and 2 burpees. So, Kickflip, congratulations. This is brutal. I remember this sucking. I'm sure this is going to suck again, especially now in the summer. But hey, here we go. After you're done, there's a form for you to put up your reps. Please do it, because I'm going to be going through the reps that you did on the first workout and on this. And we're going to be giving some T-claps to the guys who have had the most improvement, because you deserve it. If you've been working on yourself and improving, you deserve it. So please, let's kick some ass. Let's do our best. Even though it's going to suck, at least embrace the suck and let's do it all together.
That's right. And I remember going through this workout back in January, and these workouts are not created to just beat you down and just who can make the hardest workout ever. No, it's not that at all. It's more of you are pushing yourself as hard as you can. But then the cool thing that happens is if OnStar and I, like you and me, we're working out together, we're doing this metric workout, man, I'm smoked. I'm ready to throw in the towel. We still got 15 minutes left, but I see you just busting it and pushing yourself. That's probably going to make me say, I could probably push a little bit harder for 10 to 15 minutes, right? So there's this really unique thing that happens in the middle of those workouts where it's exactly what you said. It's embrace the suck. Man, this is really flipping hard, but OnStar's pushing it a little harder. I think I can give a little bit more too.
And again, I made fun of Kickflip making it this hard. I've said I've made the other ones hard, but the idea is not to be hard for its own sake. The idea is to do something that is challenging but doable, and that where you'll be able to see improvement.
That's right. Absolutely. So your AOQs will be setting this up sometime in July for you all to do this, and they'll push out more information on this as we get throughout the month. So
Exactly.
cool, man. Awesome. Well, a couple more things we have for you. We have a help wanted ad. So if you're in F3 Knoxville, listen up. We are actually looking for a regional ruck queue. So the man in this leadership role will coordinate ruck opportunities, promote rucking, and work to plant ruck AOs or workouts in our region. So if rucking is something you're passionate about, rucking is something that falls within your influence and your ability to lead and serve men, reach out to Kickflip. You know, he'd love to talk to you about this and maybe stepping into this leadership role. And rucking, RUCKING, is essentially putting weight on your back and walking in one direction. It does a lot of great physical things for you, also some mental and emotional and spiritual things for you, I think. That's just my personal opinion. That's probably another podcast episode. But we are looking for someone to lead our region in terms of ruck activities, ruck growth. We do have a pretty massive ruck event that we are actually hosting next April called a GTE, a Grow Ruck training event. And there's going to be more information on that too. You'll hear a podcast very shortly about that. But if you are interested in that position, reach out to Kickflip. We'd love to put someone in that position that is passionate about rucking and getting men out there rucking, getting stronger every day.
Yep. And don't be afraid. Leadership in F3 is shared leadership. So the other man in the, as the name goes, shared leadership team will be there to support you. You're not going to be alone in this. You're not going to be thrown off the deep end. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in this position, if you think you could do a good job, if you're passionate about rucking and about helping the other man in the region, this is for you.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. Well, a couple more things, and then we'll close out. We are actually doing this thing, really cool thing, called 100 Swords. And the 100 Swords challenge for this year is committing 100 verses of scripture to memory. And so there's been a lot of guys that have been part of this throughout the year so far. And so this week, this is the sword counts as 43. And so 100 swords, you're committing 100 verses to memory. And so here's the one that we're going to be working on this week as we go throughout our week. It comes from Luke 12:15. Then he said to them, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." That's Luke 12:15, NIV, in case you're wondering. But this is the verse that we're going to be looking at this week for the 100 Swords Challenge. And the ideal goal is by the end of the year, you will have committed, or by the end of this session, I should say, or challenge, you will have committed 100 verses of scripture to memory.
All right.
So, yeah, very cool.
This is a pretty great challenge. It's a big challenge for me, I'll be honest. I'm someone who did not grow up very religious. I got more into my faith after I grew up. So to me, this is not something I have committed to my mind or a habit that I have. But I do have my favorite Bible verse. Do you have a favorite Bible verse, team?
Yeah, I do. Onstar, we've had some really rich talks about this too. Yeah. Just honestly under a ruck, and man, it's been great. And like that's when I have really gotten to know you and a lot of guys and known the kind of man that you are, and I'm so appreciative of that. And I also did not. I mean, I grew up in the church, right? But for all intents and purposes, for a variety of reasons, I was in the room, but not in the room. If that makes sense.
Got it.
So my faith really came into being after high school, college as well. So, but I do have a favorite verse, one that has really just stood out to me over the years, one that is really easy for me to attach onto, and so it's 1 Timothy 6:12, and it goes, "Fight the good fight of the faith, take hold of the eternal life to which you were called, and about which you made the good confession in the presence of many witnesses." And that's one that's just stood out to me. I've gotten to be a part of a group that really focuses their efforts around intentional community with men around 1 Timothy 6:12. So yeah, that's probably one that is written on my heart and one that's very near and dear to me. How about you?
My favorite is Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. And that verse stands out to me as the whole Sermon on the Mount does. It's a very meaningful passage on the Bible for me. It's something that has carried me through a lot of hardship, a lot of struggles with anxiety. And that is one reminder that God has got us. God is good all the time. And there's a few other verses in the Sermon on the Mount that really speak to me, but that one is the one that lifts me up when I'm in a dark place or when I'm overthinking or paralyzed. I always go back to it. So it really stands out to me.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And that's kind of the cool thing that happens with these conversations. I mean, let's go back to that third F challenge, right? It's just an opportunity to say, hey, tell me about this, or tell me about something you said last week I want to know more about, or something. Hey, what's your favorite verse? So the 100 Swords Challenge is awesome. It's been a great opportunity for guys to really better understand Scripture and get to memorize too. So very cool. Onstar, you want to talk about the last thing, this kind of third F Devo that some of our guys are doing this week?
Yeah. So they're doing a study, the daily exploration into the foundations of faith. So you can download the YouVersion Bible app and add the F3 Knoxville third F, and you will get invited to do these daily studies. That's a great opportunity to, again, practice the third F challenge. You can join these studies, see what the guys are talking about, and maybe take one of the menus you join with and have a conversation about it. Have a conversation about what you learned, or take whatever you learned in this daily study with F3 Men to someone else in your life, to another guy in your life, maybe someone at your workplace or at your church, a perspective you learned or something you gleaned from this study, and share it with someone else. There's a good opportunity there for you to do the third F challenge. As you've seen, there's a lot of good opportunities to work on the third F challenge. You could ask someone about their favorite Bible verse, or how do they feel about this Bible verse of the week, or joining these studies. So there's a lot for you out there. So just look out for it.
That's right. Awesome. Well, that's pretty much our weekly recap, or weekly launch, if that's what you want to call it, as we kind of head into the week. But shout out to Kickflip for sending these newsletters out every Sunday. It's a great opportunity to check out what's going on at your workout location, but also what's going on throughout our region, as we have just some awesome updates, some events, some leadership changes, some things that are really exciting that we just want to share with you guys. So thanks for being a part of F3 Knoxville. And then there are 3 things that we want to leave you with. We call them a spur, as it spurs you on to the things you're going to do this week. And those 3 things are: the hymn, the high impact man, preaches what he practices. Correction requires courage, and correction requires love. So the high impact man preaches what he practices. Correction requires courage, and correction requires love. Onstar, any thoughts just on those, or closing thoughts as we kind of wrap up this episode this week?
They close out what the newsletter starts with, which is the issue of it's covered by the Q source for this week, the zealously advocating for shared virtue, and the same ideas, the ideas around correction. And it's true, it requires courage to tell someone that they're not doing well, or they're doing something wrong, or they're slipping up, especially if it's someone you care about. It might feel like you're going to hurt them. It might feel uncomfortable, but it is an act of love. If you really want to see a friend, a family member, someone do better, hey, that's an opportunity you have to help them correct something, to help them grow.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. So that's what we're going to do this week. I mean, nothing else needs to be said. So thanks for joining us on this episode of the Beyond the Cots podcast, the F3 Knoxville podcast. This is your weekly launch point for F3 Knoxville. We're happy you joined us. Thanks for tuning in and listening. You can find this episode anywhere you find your podcast, and we look forward to another great week. We will come back later this week, and we'll talk a little bit about our convergence that's going to happen on Saturday. You'll hear more about that next week. But until then, iron sharpens iron, and we look forward to joining you out in the gloom, brothers.
See you in the gloom. All right.